Hi, family. I am Stephanie Wade. I'm Habasia, helping your brothers and sisters in Africa. And to me, that actually applies to the Africans in the diaspora too. Because wherever Africans are, Africa is. We carry her around in our DNA, and our ancestors live in us. They create us from the magic of your DNA. It's a code that says who you are. It's you. So anyway, guys, I'm just coming to you today with what? My story. I am a Creole griotist. My relatives are from Opelousas and Texas and other places. I have the history of my mother as well as the history of my father. I am telling no one's story beside mine. With this being Black History Month, which doesn't mean that much to me because I research African history all the time. I research, I collect books on lots of things, whichever subjects that interest me, including African history and the history of everything, y'all, not just the history of stuff that one particular person thinks is okay, thinks is good or bad. I am not doing this presentation for any one person. I am just giving y'all a story that relates to me. And if it can relate to you, I'm happy. If it can help you in any way, I'm happy. But as a griotist, I am led by what's inside of me to share with y'all at the time. So that's the way that goes, y'all. Let me see. I think it's some line in there. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to move this around because it was like some weird light reflection on the camera. And I didn't want y'all to have to suffer through it, which is y'all might have not seen it. It might have just been something that I saw, but just in case, y'all. But as I was saying, my stories are her stories. And all I can give y'all is what happened in my life, because that's how I tell my stories. Sometimes it's about something that I read or something that I recently researched in response to something someone says in a comment. Because what I was talking about yesterday was identity and brainwashing and people hiding their true belief systems or the ancestral beliefs, our African retention, so to speak, that they feel like they have to go and hide in a closet, in their prayer closet, or just inside of their house where nobody knows, and then out front profess to be something else that's acceptable. It's 2021, y'all. We have to stop. Too many people have been killed in the name of religions and belief systems. We have been brainwashed into whatever system we believe in, whether it's self-brainwashing now or brainwashing over 400 plus years of our ancestors. Our ancestors are the survivors. The ones that kept rebelling were annihilated. Some of them was able to reproduce, and some of them were annihilated before they reproduced. I'm telling the stories of the survivors. And some of those survivors went all into the woods and everything to practice their belief systems. But for now, I'm just going to do a quick show and tell of some of the things that I have, and I will share a reading at the end that tells you about some of the religion of the enslaved people. And you're free at any time to watch or not watch. Y'all know if this channel will be for you or not, because I am not somebody who is giving you fairy tales. I'm just giving you my stories, that's all. If I made them up, I would say it's fairy tales, but it's not. It's my stories. I'm a storyteller. I'm just like my ancestors. I'm passing down stories. Some of them were told to me, but most of them, I lived it. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all are doing fine. I am trying to do this presentation before it rains on me. The sun is coming out on and off. My phone says it's supposed to rain today. I don't know. But anyways, I was a member of the 50 plus program in Texas City, College of the Mainland. And I took a class that was called paper mache. And in the paper mache, I made an animal, a turtle. And I have lots of respect for turtles, because turtles live a long time, y'all. They walk slow and they move slow, but they live long. If they could just tell their stories and I could hear them, you know, hundreds of years, as long as don't nobody eat them, you know. So anyways, this is my little totem animal that I made. You see his little eyes? But he's just made strictly out of paper mache. I don't remember how long it took, about a semester. And that's all he is paper mache. I would take pictures of him and upload it as still pictures so you could see it all. And all of the parts of him is describing my story. See, Creole took a long time before I even accepted the label of Creole. Because I was born in Texas, you know. But my relatives are, my mama's a Creole, not my dad, but my mama is. And all the names that I've had in my lifetime, I put them all on here. And sometimes I don't even remember some of the reasons why I did it, but there's my little hut. This is the ball high tour. And I don't know what that represents, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie anymore. It made perfect sense when I did it. But there's my hut, my round house. And this is my infinity circle. This is a Kua, another version of the way that you spell my name, Kua. So that's supposed to be, yeah, representative of me, avatar. And of course, be a star, Creole, a Creole star, butterfly, and the butterfly, Earlene Sam Gill, my mother, and my dog that I had for about 14 years, Laddie. I had to remember him. He was such a sweet dog, y'all. And triangle symbols. And I did not have a mold for this. It's just like a clothes hanger frame for his skeletal system. And I know I have my grandmother on here too, Cora Sam. And there's my palm tree. representing B.O.I., meaning born on the island, because I do love Galveston. And there we go, Cora, representing my grandmother, and the Cora that brings her back to Africa, even though she didn't know that we were even Africans at all. She just thought Indians. So there's her African retention name, Cora, spelled with a C when it's French writers. And she was Creole, y'all. And on the bottom, I love our Kibu land. And I always will. I love a Kibu land, which is the name for the motherland, our Kibu land. And I signed my work. And like I said, I'll be making, here's even a turtle on the turtle's back. And when I create, it's just in my head, y'all. Oh, I forgot. Sankofa. This is Sankofa, meaning go back and what? Get it. Go back and get it. And people, some of them, want to have blinders on, and they're never going to go back and get it. And that's okay. But I went back and I got it more than one time. And as long as I have life in me and money to go, I'll continue to go to the motherland and get some of the information that was lost during my Alpha, the horrible time of our enslavement and Jim Crow afterwards. This is how I see my ancestors. I see them as kings and queens and proud people, and people that love dressing in cloth that they created themselves or some of their neighbors made, and they just partying because no one knows tomorrow, and they're creators, that they have lots of children to recreate themselves again and again and again. And one of those children is me. Says, are you the one or is there another? Guys, I'm the one. So, my ancestors, they took them, male, female, to create me down the line. People have been asking me about these dolls, and I'll let y'all see my dolls as long as I got dolls for you to see. I do eventually run out of dolls because I used to have more dolls, but when I had children, they were allowed into my old bedroom and they destroyed my dolls. But anyways, this is one of my dolls that I made when I was in my doll making class. She's a little baby doll, like a little sleeping baby. She's one of my, probably like my second doll. So I was learning how to work with the colors to make her look like a little black baby, little African-American baby, whatever. And she's wearing a regular baby's outfit. That's all. It's just a regular baby's outfit. Was one of my granddaughter's outfits. And see her little toes and all the little creases. I did that, y'all. All those creases was carved into her little porcelain body. And it took months to create this doll. And like I said, she's probably my second doll. She have earrings, because I say I have earrings, and I try to make my creations somewhat to represent me. Now my first baby, was from a group project. So no, it was not cooperative economics there. It was taking a class from who was there. So since it was a group project and everybody had the same doll, this is the exact same doll as the other one, only she was what the majority of the class was, right? So I learned how to make the doll by making a doll that everybody was working on. And all these colors were easy because everybody had the same colors. Didn't really have to do that much work. I still did a lot of detail on her, but her inside and outside of her hand was the same. And her little feet, same colors outside. Yep, just have like little pink toes or something. Still wearing baby clothes. So those dolls would be perfect for the baby doll test to see which one a kid or an adult would think is the prettiest doll. Because they're the same mold, y'all. The same exact mold. Only the slip is different. Yeah, and the slip is the liquid clay that you pour into the mold. And you have to actually pick the color that you want. And you order that color. And so I actually ordered the color of the other doll. The first one I didn't because it was a group project. Everybody in the class had the same exact doll. For the second one, we had a choice of what color we wanted to make the doll and what mold we wanted to use. And I wanted to use the same mold because I had already learned that technique, but I had to learn how to mix the colors where it would be complementary on my little African American doll. And that was a nice, easy thing to do, but it still took time because it was something different for me and different for the instructor. I actually think I might have been the first chocolate woman that attended those classes. Not swearing to it, but could have been. Everybody in class was nice to me, so I ain't gonna say they was ugly or mean to me. They weren't. They figured I had something in common with them. I was trying to learn the doll making craft, the porcelain doll making craft. Okay, I was talking about the Egyptian stuff yesterday, and here's your ankh, y'all. This is where it started that I know of so far. This is the oldest group that I know of that had this ankh was the Egyptians. And all of the stories I read pretty much are plagiarized and a lot of the other books that people hold on to so dearly. This is pretty much the original deal of the storytellers. They did their stories on the walls inside of the pyramids. They believed in telling their stories for future generations. Very, very interesting and smart people. Their stories are still on the walls of some of their tombs and everything. I'm obsessed with trees, y'all, as y'all know, because I know the trees give us oxygen. They take out carbon dioxide. I love trees, y'all. The tree of life of Anunian theology, which I studied a lot for years. online. I guess online, y'all. I ordered all kind of little DVDs and VHS tapes. So I guess it was a part way online where you could order it and then get your DVDs or VHSs. But yeah, the Tree of Life. The original deal. I researched books, the black majority, and that was right here in the United States, y'all. Right here in this country. It was a genocide after the enslavement was supposed over. Lots of people hanging from the popular tree. They wrote all kind of songs about it. When we had no use anymore. It says Negroes in the colonial South Carolina from 1670 through the Stono Rebellion by Peter H. Wood, the black majority. Now when I see the black majority, it's when I get off the plane in the motherland. I get all types of books, y'all. This is real. Brainwashed. It's real. It's challenging the myth of black inferiority, and that's for everything. For everything we know of. It always seems to be not as good or bad or unholy or evil or whatever, as long as it's black or African. It's brainwashing, y'all. We gotta stop that. Yeah, we are all free by our Creator and the government to have free will. And it's nobody made anybody else's personal God to take that choice away. I'm just saying. I'm not here to proselytize anybody. I'm not a member of any organized anything. I'm just a spiritual person. And I'm just having my say for whoever wants to listen. And I'm not the only one who thinks like me. I have in my collection, this book just said, Present Me Today. I'm not going to be reading out of it at all, but I will give it in the reference in case you're lucky enough to get a copy if you so choose. But this is Ona Agbani, The Ancient Path, Understanding and Implementing the Ways of Our Ancestors. I'll leave the information down below. Now also, because of a comment I had from yesterday, I decided to look this up. Because like I said, what I'm talking about deals with me, but it deals with lots of people other than me. It wasn't a personal, isolated incident. No, lots of people's families had similar occurrences. It says the slave experience religion. And I'm doing this as part of your Black history. It says the slave experience religion. And I got this off of the online. It says 13 Media with Impact. So it looks like it came from PBS, from the little logo. But it says slavery and the making of America, the slave experience religion. It says religion by Kimberly, Sambol-Tosco. It says at the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, African religious beliefs and practices were numerous and varied. In addition to a wide variety of polytheistic religions, a significant portion of the continent had for centuries fallen under Islamic influence. Despite the diversity, there were some common threads across cultural groups. For instance, West African societies, the largest source for American slaves, shared a belief in a supreme creator, a chief deity among lesser gods to whom they prayed and made sacrifices. Through laws and customs honoring the gods, the ancestors of one's people, and the elderly, West Africans sought a harmonious balance between the natural and spiritual worlds. Further, they made music and dance vital components of their worship practice. Enslaved men and women kept the rites, rituals, and cosmologies of Africa alive in America through stories, healing arts, song, and other forms of cultural expression, creating a spiritual space apart from the white European world. It says Africans and African descendants working in the early modern Atlantic commercial system was exposed to the world of European Christianity as early as the 15th century, when Portuguese missionaries came to the coast of Africa. Some slaves, therefore, brought Christian beliefs with them when they were thrust into slavery. Others converted in America. During the 17th century, during the early 18th century, Anglican missionaries attempting to bring Christianity to slaves in the southern colonies often found themselves butting up against not only uncooperative masters, but also resistant slaves. An unquestionable obstacle to the acceptance of Christianity among slaves was their desire to continue to adhere as much as possible to the religious beliefs and rituals of their African ancestors. Missionaries working in the South were especially displeased with slave retention of African practice, such as polygamy and what they called idolatrous dancing. In fact, even blacks who embraced Christianity in America did not completely abandon old world religion. Instead, they engaged in syncretism, blending Christian influence with traditional African rites and beliefs. Symbols and objects such as crosses were conflated with charms carried by Africans to ward off evil spirits. Christ was interpreted as a healer, similar to the priests of Africa. In the New World, fusion of African spirituality and Christianity led to a distinct new practice among slave population, including voodoo or voodoo in Haiti and Spanish Louisiana. Although African religion influence were also important among northern blacks, exposure to old world religion was more intense in the South, where the density of the black population was greater. It says, blacks in the Dutch New Netherlands and Spanish Florida baptized their children and were married by the church. In part, the participation in the dominant European religion reflected and helped to bring about a colonial society in which blacks were more fully integrated and enjoyed greater rights than later generations of slaves would. So religion was used as a way of changing their status, getting their freedom, assimilation for freedom. However, slaves also saw conversion to Christianity as a road to freedom. In the early years of settlement, for instance, fugitive slaves from South Carolina headed for Florida, where the Spanish crown promised them freedom as a reward for conversion. Slaveholders in the British North America colonies became increasingly fearful that Christianization of slaves would lead to demands for emancipation. In 1667, Virginia passed a law declaring that conversion did not change the status of a person from slave to free. Other colonies passed similar laws during the 17th and early 18th century. I will share this information in the description, on the author and all, and where I got it from. But anyway, y'all, I hope whoever hung in to the last learned something. I hope you did. I don't know if it'll change the way you feel about your ancestors and how hard they worked to hold on to their retentions of their beliefs of the gods and goddesses of their ancestors, and how they were forced to change to make the oppressors happy. But it wasn't an easy process, y'all. They fought a good fight. And yes, it's still people practicing right now the very same things that some of them gave up. The ancestors, maybe it's group thought, I don't know. But they living in us, and yes, a lot of people still have the African retentions in every aspect of their life, including their spiritual belief system. I believe what I believe. I'm not gonna lie to anybody about me being what they are to make them feel comfortable. I'm okay with whatever you practice. That's why I love Gambia so much. People live and let live. I know lots of people have died because of religion and people forcing them at the edge of some instrument of death to change. But for now, in 2021, people in some parts of the world are still free to practice or not practice a belief system. Gambia is peaceful that way. It is predominantly Muslim, but they do have Christians there that's not harassed or anything for their belief. And I'm sure they have people there that's still practicing their indigenous belief that might actually be practicing outwardly some Orthodox religion. I don't know, because I haven't really met them yet that would admit to it. But I do see people that still drawing pictures that look like something on heaven, in heaven, and on earth. I see people still playing beautiful cultural music, and still see people dancing in the ways of their ancestors. And I know that some of these things don't cross over well into the new belief systems, but they're doing it anyway. The choral music is still there. It's still playing so beautifully. People still playing drums over there. People still dancing. People still wearing beautiful colors. It's just a lovely place, y'all. And of course, people are still planting beautiful gardens that remind me of the Garden of Eden. So anyways, I'm still enjoying my yard, still enjoying my flower, because look at it, y'all. It's still blooming. After a couple of days, that flower's still here and looking fabulous. This yard reminds me of being in the motherland. My banana trees would look better if it was hotter, and it will be hotter soon. Galveston has like a little short so-called winter season. So anyway, y'all, I know I didn't tell y'all everything I was wearing or anything like that today, because I just had to get some stuff said while it was fresh in my mind. But for those who know, these earrings are silver, and they come from a jewelry store that's by Motu in the Gambia. Next time I'll make sure this part that goes through your ear is thinner, because it was something trying to get them to go in my ear properly. Next time I'll make sure that part's narrow, because the holes in my ears are pretty narrow. All right, y'all. I'm just wearing a regular old outfit today. That's jeans jacket, jeans skirt. And what am I wearing around my neck? My djembe drum that comes from that same silver jewelry shop that's next to Motu. I know it's hard to see the drum, but hopefully y'all can see it with me just focusing in on it a little bit for a little longer than a couple of seconds. But I really like it. Hope y'all like the earrings. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, y'all. When I do, y'all will see me wear my buba that was created for me in the Gambia. And I'll play a little non-copyrighted core music and dance a little bit. If it's raining in the backyard, I'll dance in the house. Oh, but anyway, y'all, agape love all of y'all. And I'm just being me, sharing my stories with y'all. Till next time, peace, peace, power to the people. And I'm out, y'all. Bye.